This was an execution style. This was a hate crime from a neighbor our children spoke about. They were uncomfortable with. He came to their apartment more than once, condescending, threatening, and despising and talking down to them.
As folks continue to mourn the killings of the 3 Muslim American students in North Carolina, there's also a huge conversation going on right now about whether this was over a parking dispute, as the police have initially said, or if it was a hate crime. So I wanted to talk to Dr. Omid Safi, who's a member of the community there and also the Director of Islamic Studies at Duke University. Omid, what do you think?
Even if there was a dispute about a parking space, I think that's just the trigger. And the issue is really the underlying dynamic.
But regardless of whether it was over a parking dispute or if it was a hate crime, isn't the outcome equally heinous?
The outcome is heinous, and of course there's nothing that we can do to bring these 3 beautiful people back. The issue is about whether there is a structure underwriting this hatred. It's 15 years of dehumanizing Muslims as human beings and constantly associating Islam with a system of violence, extremism, terrorism, misogyny, patriarchy. And it's that combination which has produced this lethal context in which all of us are living in right now.
Do you see any danger in using the word Islamophobia with the alleged attacker Hicks, even though we don't know exactly for sure what his motive is?
You know, there's a few things we do know about him. We do know that on his website, he identifies himself as a militant atheist, and the kind of new atheists that he's quoting, the Richard Dawkins of the world, they say that they hate all religion, but there's one of them that they seem to hate much more. Whether or not this meets the legal criteria of a hate crime, of course, is something that the legal process has to investigate and determine.
What can you tell me about the climate for Muslims in the North Carolina Chapel Hill area?
I think people are feeling vulnerable and exposed in some ways, but we also know that we're not alone, and vigils like the one last night matter. These matter because you saw hundreds of Muslims being surrounded by 5,000 or 10,000 people from the community that came out to weep with us, to stand with us in the cold, and just to show their love and support.